Hi. And here we are. This is Kenya Alou. I am one of the co-founders of the Dream Team with Trent Weideman, and we are here on the Dream Team Hangout. It's Monday night. Oh, what's the date? December something. December 8th. The year's gone by so fast. But we have an exciting panel tonight. We're so glad to be here, and I'm just going to start welcoming a few people. Wow, we've got a full room already. We've got Lisa and Kaylee. Welcome, Alex, and welcome, Campbell and Cindy. Cindy is on every single hangout, every single training, every single DSD. She's an incredible person, incredible leader on our team. We've got Carl and Gloria. We've got Dennis and George. Corey, welcome. Heidi. Welcome, Grady. Welcome, John and Luke. We've got a lot of people tonight, guys. This is so exciting. Welcome to the Hangout. Glad you're here. We've got a great panel lined up, and you know, we usually don't have a panel of all team leaders, but tonight we thought it might be fun to just have a full leadership panel. A few of us have been in here over a year. A few of us have been in here just a few months, or 5 or 6 months. But we just think it would be fun to hear different perspectives of people who've been building and leading teams in this amazing company. So welcome to the chat. If you can hear us, just say hello, and I see y'all. Saying hello. Hi, Judy. Hi, Lisa. Johnny, hello. Yeah, Corey, we are gonna rock. We're gonna rock tonight. Very excited. So we're going to kick it off. I'm just going to share a little bit. I'm going to start off, just give a little introduction of myself and my story, and then I'm not going to take up too much time because I really want everyone to hear from the other leaders. If you have been invited here tonight by somebody in DS Domination, you have no idea the gift they're trying to give you, and we're going to show you a little bit of that tonight. My name's Kenya Alou. I started with DS Domination at its inception back, August of last year at pre-launch. And you know, I've built other companies before, I've built other teams before, and I've been in network marketing off and on for 20 years. Most of those years struggled greatly. Got some tools and got some coaching and saw some success in previous companies, but what was frustrating was watching so many of the people that I would bring in not succeed. And that's not why, I mean, yes, I wanted to join a company to build wealth for myself, but is it satisfying if you're building wealth for the expense of others and those people aren't able to build the same success? And so no, that wasn't satisfying to me. It was frustrating to me. So when DS Domination was presented, the question, actually, Roger Langella asked me the question. He said, Kenya, what if we had a product where the customer actually made money off the product? And I said, well, that doesn't exist. And he said, it's going to. And man, this has been such an incredible ride because I feel completely 100% confident to tell even my mother. She won't join because my mom doesn't do computers, but I could tell her, I would feel comfortable saying, Mom, join this company because you're going to make money here. And I know that I'm not lying, I'm not misleading her, I'm not doing any of that. She will absolutely make money if she plugs in and does the training and takes action. So Sarah Bayer is here with us tonight. She is not only a DSD team member, but she's also my right-hand person. She's my assistant. And so you guys are going to be seeing and hearing a lot more from her. I am thrilled with the amount of success that I've seen her have in just a very short period of time. And she is, I will say, one of the biggest action takers, and I'm really proud of her for that. But I'm just gonna introduce everybody, and then we'll just start talking. So we've got Steve Ramona here with us tonight, and he has his 1 year anniversary with DS Domination, and there's Sarah, and we have Renee, who is like a Genesis rock star. I can't wait for her to tell you her story. She's also been in DS for quite a while, and we've got Lindsay, who is Monopoly Mania. Excited to hear from her, and Kimberly. Kimberly does it all. And then we've got Kat, who I'm very excited to have on this hangout because you guys are going to be blown away by this woman's story. I'm sure you'll be blown away by everyone's story, but I'm sure I'm not going to give any nuggets. I'm going to just turn it over to this wonderful panel that we have. Thank you guys for being here. Very excited. And we'll just start with let's see. Steve, should we let ladies go first, or since you're the only guy here, should you go first?
No, let's ladies go first. The beauty before the beast.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna start with Sarah because she's on my screen in order of this way, and then we're going to end with Steve. So Sarah, tell us about how long you've been in, just your story and what's going on with the team.
Okay. I have been involved with DS Domination just for a very short time. I joined towards the end of October. I just was in a situation where I was definitely in need of a job. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I homeschool my kids, and that's something that is near and dear to my heart and not something that I want to give up at all. But I definitely needed the income, and so I knew Kenya and Alessandro from church, and was given this opportunity that I really didn't know anything about it, and things had been a little hectic, and so I got a slow start, and then I got my first sale, and then that same day I got my second sale, and I was like, what's going on? This is crazy. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. I mean, this Christmas rush has been insane for me, like really insane. I was at the post office today because I was mailing out way too many boxes. People were laughing because I had my kids with me, and we were trying to bring all these boxes in. And I'm in line, and I got the cha-ching while I was in line at the post office. I sold something else too. So it's just been crazy, insane, but in a wonderful, absolute wonderful way. So I'm just excited for the ride because it's been amazing so far. So.
Awesome. Okay, thanks for sharing, and thank you so much for being on. I mean, this girl has been a lifesaver for me and so proactive. I didn't even realize that she was going to be on tonight. She's like, I want to get on, and I was so excited because you know, just to have, for those of you who look at us and go, you guys have been on forever, you've been with DSD forever, that's why you're making money. Well, here's somebody who has been in maybe, what, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, not a long time. And she's just really, you know, plugged in and here, and I'm very, very thankful for you and happy that you're on our team and that you're working with me. So, okay, we're going to move to Renee.
Thanks, Kanya. My name's Renee Jewell, and this is the most amazing thing I have ever experienced, hands down. Just a little history on me. I've done network marketing in some fashion for 30-plus years. I've made some money, not phenomenal amounts of money. I've lost more than I've made. And my big pet peeve about network marketing was always I could go find people, but then those people, my team, those people that looked to me to show them how to duplicate the success would fall by the wayside. Inevitably, it happened over and over and over for 30 years. And, well, almost 34 years, actually. And I finally I quit. I wouldn't do anything. If it had anything to do with ever signing up a living soul, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't even look at it. And last fall, I was actually in a professional school program, I'm kind of a late bloomer. I'm in my 50s, and this was a dream of mine, and so I was at this professional school, and this person that I only know on Facebook kept putting these little posts up, and I'm thinking, oh, it's MLM, and I'm not going to look, go away. I need to just block them. I don't want to see it. And she kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And finally, there was this one that showed $2,000 that she had just made, and I thought, if I don't look, I'm going to kick myself. So I'm in this school program that literally took me 18 hours a day to do. And I called her up on the phone and I said, I don't have time for a conference call. I don't have time for a webinar. I don't want to hear it. But is this worth it for me? You know the program that I'm in. And she said, well, if you wanted to just sign up a few people and start earning that way, you're not going to have time to actually work the drop shipping thing, but you can do that. And I said, okay, I can do that. So I spent my $20. That was all financial aid money. And I put up this little blurb on my Facebook. This is all I did, guys. I put up this little blurb that said, I finally found a way you can make money online without ever chasing people. Go watch this video. Don't talk to me. I'm in school. If you want to do it, cool. If you don't, that's fine. And that's all I said. And I made $97 in my first week. And I had these people now. and I'm thinking, oh my word, well, this is kind of cool. And then I had some family crisis happen, and I chose to leave that program and come home. When I came back, I live in a little tiny town in eastern Washington and could not find work and had no money. And here I had this DS domination magic, and I was applying for jobs cleaning toilets at the Oddfellows home, and they wouldn't hire me. Now, I've got a master's degree, okay? There were no jobs. I didn't have any deep pockets. I thought I was going to be living on financial aid for the next 4 years, and that just wasn't going to happen. And I thought, all right, I don't have money for the next month's rent. I have a 20-something-year-old son that's disabled that lives with me. I have to do this. So I took that 18-hour days that I was doing in school, and I put that in DS domination, and I absolutely immersed myself. I skipped that month's car payment to get Elite, and I have never looked back. My first full month in, I made over $1,000 profit, and then it absolutely exploded. I did not stop selling during last Christmas season. Sorry, Roger, I ignored that part, and thought I would absolutely lose my mind, but I needed the money. I had to make a double car payment. I had to make my rent. Went through just about every gymnastic crisis. I figured out that I've got to watch those videos at least 100 times. I've probably watched them 1,000 times now. By the time the event in June rolled around, I was making what, for me at least, was an extremely good income on the affiliate side and doing very well on the eBay side. And when I was at the event, I upgraded to Genesis, not knowing at all what it was. I didn't care. I had the money. I thought, we're going to do this. We're going to figure it out. And I immersed myself in that. I keep checking my phone because this is like really cool to me. What I did is I took my top selling product on eBay. Okay, and I heard Hitesh mention something about this on one of his webinars. I took that product and I took it over to Amazon. And I started fulfilling it myself. Okay, I would get a dozen of this item into my home. I would wrap them in wrapping paper because I literally had $3 profit in it and I didn't want to pay for a box. And I would buy shipping on Amazon and I would ship it out, and people loved it. And I thought, well, cool. So I went from making 10 to 20 sales a day of this one item on eBay to making 10 to 20 sales of this one item on Amazon. And then I sourced it, and then I bundled it, and now I just had, okay, this is my highest day ever. I don't know if you can see this. Let me see if I can get it close enough to the camera.
$890.
$890 in one day. 25% of that goes in my pocket. I have this price really high because I keep running out of stock. This to me is crazy, buggy, I don't have deep pockets. I am heavily, beyond heavily in debt. This has completely transformed my life. I paid off my car. I cried. You know, it's little things like that. With my disabled son, he's got a German Shepherd. And this dog has something wrong with his back leg. And so I got to call up the vet and say, I need to bring the dog in for x-rays. I have been so poor that I have had dogs put to sleep because I couldn't afford the vet bills. I have been there. I know what it's like to have absolutely nothing, and I know what it's like to feel like I cannot wrap my mind around this. It's too big, it's too much, it's too complicated, and then just get down to basics. Do one thing, and one thing next, and one thing next, and my life is transformed. I'm not where I want to be. You know, I'm just now starting to get relatively big shipments in from China, and I'm all excited. But, you know, it's growing, and it's growing a bit at a time. One more thing I want to say about the eBay side of this. A few months ago, I stopped selling on eBay myself. That's a whole other story that doesn't matter. And I took over a family member's account. 2 weeks ago, this account had 5 listings on it. 5. Okay? In 2 days, I took that account to 118 listings, which was the limit on that account. And I just made $1,000 profit on that account since the 1st of December. Now, you know, we're talking about what's the difference now between before. When I was brand new with DS Domination, I did not make that kind of income that fast on eBay. But the difference is I now have all that information stored in my head. I can predict what Roger's going to say before he says it because I've watched those crazy videos so many times. And I can write killer titles. I take the time, I do the research, and now it's showing in the income that's coming in. And the whole point of that is you can take anybody. My mother is almost 80. She just celebrated her 79th birthday. She stayed up till 4 in the morning over and over and over and would get up the next day and go to work as a hospice social worker. But she would stay up all night to watch those videos over and over and over. She didn't even know what another tab was on a computer. She knows nothing, but she's killing it with Genesis. You know, this can work for anybody, for everybody. I get so passionate about it because I love changing people's lives.
Renee, can I ask you, what would you say to someone who says to you, I have 120 listings up and I have watched the trainings and I'm still not making sales?
I would say please give me your login or your username on eBay. I offer anybody a free one-page summary of what's wrong with your listings. It's hard to wrap your mind around it at first. It seems very simple here now, but when I was new, I didn't get it. I would think that I had a good title, but I had no idea. You know, I look at people's listings all day, every day, and some of the listings are okay. Some of the titles are horrible. Some of the basic things that I now take for granted, they missed. You know, sometimes in those videos, it's a half a sentence that Roger says that can transform your listings. But it's often just a new set of eyeballs on there and go, try this. Try this. Let me help you put up one listing and see what happens, and it'll take off. Because this works for everybody. I am convinced of that.
Yeah, and you know, I just want to take off the shades and be really real here. There are a lot of people who are in DS Domination whose sponsors have quit and they have no support and they don't have anyone to look at their listings. Now, for me, I had to watch the training several times, 3 times actually, and the webinars before it clicked because I couldn't understand why I had 14 listings up and I wasn't making any sales. Well, yes. First of all, I only had 14 listings up. But second of all, I didn't, and when I went back after I absorbed the training, it was a mess. My titles were horrible. I mean, so I guess what I'm asking you is, with your experience, I also look at my personal listings, but what do you say to someone who has no support and they don't understand why they're not making sales?
what I would suggest, and I talk to people all the time like that, and on the one hand, it breaks my heart. But get this. DS Domination and the groups, for instance, the Dream Team group, and Roger's Training sponsors each one of us individually. The nuggets are there. They really are there. Now, I'll tell you, if you've only got 14 listings up and you wonder why you're not making sales, put 100 listings up. You know, there's something magical. I don't know. There's something magical that starts happening above 100 listings. Mm-hmm. So if you can follow the training enough to get that many listings up, you're going to have a head start on it. But do the basic stuff. You know, I have people tell me all the time, well, I watched the training. Okay, watch the training for 2 hours a day, every day for the next 8 weeks, and then come back and tell me what you were doing wrong. You know, take one listing at a time and look at every single word in the title, because titles are king, and it makes a big difference. It really does. You know, simple stuff. Capitalize your words. Get the punctuation out of it. Make sure you've got keywords in the titles. Make sure you're competitive with people that are selling it right now. It's funny how many people forget that little piece. You know, it's those basic things that will make it start working for you, because it's those basic things that period work. Whether you understand it doesn't matter. Whether you think you got a better way doesn't matter. Just do it.
Yeah, and what Renee's referring to as the basic things is what I refer to as the details that sometimes we think are so basic that we just move right over them. We don't pay attention to them. So those details are so important. Thank you, Renee. We'll circle back around at the end. Lindsay.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. Just a little bit of background on me. If you haven't seen me, I think this is my third hangout. And I left the corporate world back in August. August 1st was my last day. And transitioned into a stay-at-home mom. And I had heard about this and just kind of been thinking about it and decided to go for it. Never sold a thing on eBay, no experience as a seller, and I hate math. I always tell people that because I really struggled with math growing up. And so I say if I can do this, anybody can. I just dug in. I tell people that I treated this like an online course. I turned the TV off, I put the phone away, and I just zeroed in. I took notes. I watched them over and over. And you know, I like to tell people that this is your baby. You know, if you tend to it and you take care of it, you'll see results. You can't, you know, like you say, list 14 things and say, oh, well, why am I not selling? You know, you have to put the work into it. But if you put the work into it, you will see results. And I actually just did a vendor booth with a friend of mine this weekend at a Christmas show and passed out flyers. They were pretty green flyers, and it was nice to meet some other network marketing people, and their first reaction to me was, well, I can't sell my products online. And I said, this has nothing to do with your skincare or your makeup. And it was funny because they couldn't wrap their head around it, you know. But I think there's a lot of people like me that want to bring in income, and for, you know, kids are in school, you have obligations, whatever, they're just not able to work a 9 to 5, especially some of the moms of little ones and stuff. And so that's one area that I'm really passionate about, is, you know, saying, hey, you can bring in income, you can help, you know, financially, and it's on my terms. You know, I'm not told when to go to lunch and when to take a break, and oh, it's a holiday, you have to be here. So you know, that is my passion, I guess you would say. And I do want to add that last week was my first in e-commerce, and it was amazing. It was so busy. I was like, I felt like I couldn't turn it off. Like, I would go to lay down at night and go to sleep, and I was just like, okay, well, did I get that tracking number in? And, you know, it was so exciting. And so I really enjoyed it. It was really fun being on the retailer, the seller side of it instead of just going out and spending a bunch of money. So.
Awesome. And tell us a little bit about your very early, very early days in pro. And then tell us about your experience then now in Monopoly.
Yeah, when I first started, like I say, I joined and then I didn't really officially, dig deep into it until my son started preschool this year. And the very early days, I felt like I didn't know if I would get it. I really didn't. But everybody kept telling me, watch those videos. And I learned through all that I'm the type of person that can't watch it once and retain it. I could pretty much recite the pro videos because I watched them over and over and over again. And I tell my team to do the same because they're like, she said, there could be a half of a sentence that makes all the difference. So I do really agree with watching them over and over. And as far as Monopoly, I joined Monopoly, and then we had a big contest, and so I just started my training back today. But 2015 is going to be amazing. I told myself that 2014 would be a different year for me and my family, and it was. But 2015 is going to be just unbelievable. And this company, you think it can't get any better, and it does. So I'm so excited about what the next few months are going to bring. And Monopoly was a far away thought when I first joined, and here I am. So sky's the limit.
I was muted. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Kimberly.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello there. Good evening. I'm so excited to be here.
We're excited you're here.
Thanks.
I got to meet Kimberly in Vegas at our DS Domination event back this summer. So I'm going to let you go ahead and take it away.
Ooh, did you hear the cha-ching?
I did.
Did you? Okay, for all of you out there, there's a second one. Did you hear it?
Are you
okay? That's two. It's been like that all day long. For those of you who don't know, when I first started in DSD, people kept going, cha-ching, cha-ching, and I'm like, what in the world are you talking about? What, cha-ching? Okay, there's an app for your phone for eBay, and when you make a sale, it'll go cha-ching. And sometimes, seriously, I have to turn the volume off on the phone because it just becomes so distracting. And I'm trying to think, and I'm trying to do something, and it's going cha-ching, and I'm like, go away! And it's a wonderful, wonderful problem to have. When I first was introduced to DSD, I was looking for something that I could present to my downline in another business. I was in another company, and I absolutely adore them. I have no hard feelings about them at all, except that nobody else was making money except for me and my team, downline from me. And I would get a lot of requests from people that asked for problem to have. When I first was introduced to DSD, there's a loop. Anyway.
You know what? You might have another window open with the Hangout playing or something.
I do not. You're my only Hangout. Somebody else might have their volume on. Is everybody else muted?
Charlie, can you mute yourself?
Oh, Charlie! Charlie joined us. Charlie! Close the window that you're watching the Hangout on.
Great, Charlie. What an entrance. You're the man.
Nice.
That's okay. So anyway, I was looking for something to share with other people because because I'm money, and my other team members weren't. So I kind of was under the radar, sliding around, looking at things, and I didn't tell anybody that I was in DSD, and I started making great money. And well, I'm going to go back. Let's quantify that. I made more in the first 2 months with DSD than I had made in the previous 17 months with the other business. I did not get rich quick, but I did make more money, and I was thrilled. And so I dropped the other one like a hot potato and clung on to DSD. And I just love the Dream Team. I have such strong emotions for the support system that we have here as a team and as a community. You've heard a lot of people say that, you know, there's just a sentence in the videos. But you know what? That's a lot like life, where you may hear the same thing over and over again. Let's say that you are a religious person and you've read the same scripture many times, whatever your book of scripture is, and you have read that scripture 100 times, and then one day half the sentence clicks and you go, oh my goodness, I could have had a V8, right? Well, same idea is that you have access to all the training videos you need. You have access to the Dream Team. You have access to leadership amongst us, amongst other people that aren't on this Hangout but are watching, that buoy you up, lift you up, and sometimes will just passively say a comment that suddenly you go, that is the one thing that I'm missing. And it changes everything for you. It completely rewrites your entire perspective and shifts your paradigm on life. And that is the beauty of the Dream Team. And that's the beauty of DS Domination, is you have constant access to those training videos. And I personally watched them twice through, the pro videos, before I ever did my first listing. The third time I watched them, I paused and worked, and then I watched and I paused and I worked, and very carefully, oh, there's the ching ching again, wait for it. There it is, twice. So this is just an exciting thing. I wanted to share something with you, and the reason I go back to pro is the beginning level. And Hitesh, Kevin, and Roger, who are the founders of DS Domination, are adamant that you begin with pro, you begin at the beginning, and when you have success, and only then, do you move on and buy more knowledge, more learning, more videos, because they're not out there to push you just to buy their product. They truly want you to succeed. And so that's why I'm going back to pro. So at the pro level, you sell on eBay, and it is phenomenal. Now, I have taken the knowledge from the Monopoly and Genesis, and I've applied that to eBay. And right now, I am making a phenomenal profit per unit. It's almost 50% of the cost. As wait, is that right? If you buy something for 10 and you sell it for 20, I'm marking it up 100%, right?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know. See, I'm not a math person either, but I can tell you how to make money, and that's by joining DSD. And so, get back to the person who brought you to this webinar tonight, because I've applied the things that I've learned in Genesis, which is from sourcing from China, in step-by-step instructions. Not just random willy-nilly getting online and going, how do I source from China? But actual step-by-step guidance. And I'm now selling those products on eBay. And it's awesome. Those are the cha-chings you're probably hearing, because I'm selling so many of them that my PayPal account is really flush right now. And that's a great blessing in our lives. Back when I started DSD, we were so far in debt that I jokingly walked around telling people that I was X percentage of $1 million in debt. And I remember being at a stage in my life where I thought $20,000 was huge. I mean, I remember struggling. I remember sleeping on a hardwood floor, and I would take my clothes and I would roll them up inside of a sheet, and I would sleep on the sheet. And then in the morning, I would unroll that sheet, and I would take out the clean clothes, and I would wear the clean clothes that day. And at the end of the day, I'd re-roll the sheet with the clothes. And so I've been there. I wasn't there when I started DSD, but I have been there, and I have been that poor. And I do know what it's like to have no money for groceries and to have too much pride to go to your parents. And if I had had DSD at that time in my life, I would be I'd be a quadrillionaire. I would be so wealthy now because I understood at that point in my life what it took to succeed and what it took to get a meal in my belly and what it took to get a job. But I didn't know how to turn that drive and how to turn that tenacity into real money. And that's the vehicle DSD is. That's the vehicle that you have before you. That's the opportunity that you've been presented with. And let me tell you, it's $20. And if you have to go out and sell your extra pair of shoes, or if you have to go out and skip a meal so that you can do this, do it for 1 month. Seriously, 1 month. Don't just buy it and then, forget it. Do it. This is the time, and you can make it happen. And I believe in you.
Thanks so much, Kim. Your stories and your testimonies are always so just amazing. Thank you. And I just noticed your crown. Lovely. Nice touch. Every time I hear you share, I'm just like completely amazed. So thank you for being so real and open and sharing all that. We're going to circle back around. Okay. I'm going to skip you, Kat. I'm going to put Charlie on. Okay? Because Charlie joined us. Charlie, you're going to have to unmute your mic, but make sure that your other window that had the Hangout playing, make sure you have that closed, because otherwise we're going to hear the echo. Kim, can you hear me? Kim, you froze. Are you still there? Because someone's asking how long you've been in DSD. And I don't know what to say. I know that you've been in longer than back in July or May because you were at the event. I said July, didn't I? She's been in before July. I mean before May. So it's been a little while, but I don't know the exact date. And she froze on us. So Charlie, you froze.
No, I'm here.
Okay, Charlie, I need you to turn off your. Someone's asking how long you've been in DSD. Turn off the. I don't know what to say. I know that has the Google Hangout playing. Back in July or May because you were. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm hearing two sounds, two recordings.
Before July. Yeah, because you've got your Hangout window where you were watching the recording. You have that open. So if you could shut that off. Charlie, you froze.
No, I'm here. Where do I shut it off at?
Turn off. Well, you have two windows open, so you need to minimize this Hangout so you can see the other window. I'll let you work on that, and we'll move on unless you got it. You got it?
Okay, I got it.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Was that my problem?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
This is Charlie Browning. I'm excited that you he decide, he's in Dream Team leadership as well, and he decided to hop on. I saw him in the chat and I said, "Hey, can you jump on the hangout with us so that Steve wouldn't be the only guy on here?" And we'll let Charlie take it away.
All right. I got started with DSD back November 2013, and I saw a video, and what really impressed me about the video was the fact that I could make money without having to buy inventory or any merchandise and just copy and paste from one site to another and sell it and pocket the profit as the money moved through. That was so easy. Nothing to buy, nothing to handle, because I had been doing eBay and packing things up and shipping things out and going out and looking for other items to sell. So when I saw Roger's video about copying and pasting and not even touching anything and making money, that right there got me hooked. But I was in the middle of other things and didn't really get started to do anything with it until about March. And then I got all excited about the event in Las Vegas, went to Las Vegas, and that got me going. And then I started working it and putting up listings and making some money. But it wasn't until Roger had this Christmas contest where I was forcing myself to get up 10 listings a day. And when I did that, it started to gel. It started to come together. I started to see things that I hadn't seen or understood before. So I'm all excited now. I'm going up with some more listings. I'm linking my sales, and the phone, the cha-ching is nice. And I forget to turn it off at night, and it wakes me up. But then I'm all excited in the morning because I got to jump up and go to eBay and Amazon and make sure I copy and paste the address and get that sale going. So it gets in your blood, and it's exciting. And the great thing is okay, you start out with $19.95 out of pocket, but from there on out, you can move up level by level and not have to take anything more out of pocket. You make the money, you move up, you make more money, you keep learning, you keep going over the videos, and that's crucial. It takes work. I mean, money's just not going to fall in your lap with this program. It takes work and learning, but it pays off. Go ahead, Kenny.
Awesome. Great advice. Okay, we're going to circle back around after, but I'm going to move on to Katrina, and let her share her story. Go ahead and tell us how it started for you, or how it didn't start for you, and how it ended up.
I actually, last year I really wasn't serious, so I really got into DSD. It would have been in August, so it's been about 4 months. Thank you for having me. And Cindy, I did see that message. Get with me later, and I'll stick my tongue out so you can get a screenshot. Are you ready? Here, I'll give it to you. She wanted a screenshot. There you go, honey. I started in August. When I started, I only had 10 listings. So it was extremely slow going for me. Did you hear that? I
don't mean to interrupt, but when she says she only had 10 listings, she means she was only able to list 10 items. eBay had her on a restriction, and she could not list more even if she wanted to. I just wanted to clarify that point.
Yes, I was only able to list 10 items. You know, I stuck with it. I went slow. It was very slow going at first. You know, and as my customer service got better and eBay started trusting me more, they kept giving me more and more listings and an increase. I just want to point out, just during this webinar we've been on for 38 minutes, it looks like. We've been live for 38 minutes. I have had 8 sales, 8 cha-chings. I just wanted to point that out. So it's a good day. As of today, I have 2 different eBay accounts. It's one of them just happens to be a family member's that is a power seller, and they were able to have quite a few listings. But as of today, between the 2 different eBay accounts that I have 1,500 listings up. Last week was my highest sales, and that was at 28. I had 28 sales in one day. I beat that record 2 days ago. I had 32 sales in one day. So yes, I've been doing the happy money dance. I've had to turn off my phone because the cha-chings just keep on coming in. It's a good thing. It's a good thing, but very distracting because I do the happy cha-ching dance every single time I get a sale, which kind of goes like this. There you go, Cindy. There's another thing for you to take, another picture. You know, so what I've done is I've watched the videos. I watch the videos, and I rewatch the videos, and I listen to people that are smarter than me. That's what I'm doing. You know, I've come into this, and I know this is not a hobby. This is a job. This is my full-time job. I work at it. I said that bad W word, but this is work. You have to work, and you have to be willing to grow, and that's when you're going to be successful. You know, that's when you're going to do this. I think I watch all of the training videos. 1 week I'll watch the pro videos. The next week I'll watch all of the elite videos. The following week I'll watch the unleashed videos. I've only gone as far as unleashed. However, with my profits from eBay, tonight I am buying Genesis. So by next, you know, I'd say give me a year and I will be at the 6-figure mark. So I'm very excited about that. I'm very, very excited. You know, I want to grow. I want to learn. You know, and that's how you're going to be successful. Last week, my profit after eBay fees and taxes, I made $2,800 in 7 days. That was last week. Thank you, Steve. I am an ordinary woman making extraordinary money. I don't have any kind of special training or skills other than DSD. You know, I'm just a girl, and I listen to people that are smarter than me. And I thank God every day that DSD came into my life.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. I knew it would be so powerful. Can you tell just a little bit, since you've done Kat?
I'm tearing up.
Yeah. I mean, I am an ordinary woman making extraordinary income, and I mean that's awesome. And then just that you listen to people. See, and that's what we all need to learn in life, and not just in this business. Let's just move out of this business and just go into life in general. We all should understand that no matter what position you're in, no matter how high in a company you are, no matter what your title is, it doesn't matter. But always be willing to listen to people, to listen to wisdom, to listen to people who've been doing it longer than you, who may be smarter than you, whatever. Just always be teachable is the most important thing. Thank you for sharing that incredible nugget.
Absolutely.
Um, Now we're gonna move on to Steve. How's it going?
Fantastic. I tell you, I give everybody a standing ovation.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Let's have some claps here.
Kenya, I want to thank you for inviting me to the Hangout. This has been incredible. I've got to tell you, I'm going to sign up again tonight because of these stories. I'm coming right back to DSD. I just have to do it. You guys are so motivating and inspiring. Renee, I'm going to talk to you later. And my stories like Renee's, I've been in about 10 different MLM companies, built teams, but they all walked away. 5 months, 3 months, made some money, but they all walked away eventually. It was just me. Been with this December 18th, 2013 is when I started, and I can still remember I was sitting on the couch watching TV, and I get a Facebook message. Great way to market your business, by the way, as you all have said. And my upline says, hey, I've got this opportunity. And like Renee, I said, I don't want to do any more network marketing. I'm done. I've recruited so many people. I don't want to go back to them. And when he told me, and he was a great marketing, he said, there's no recruiting involved. I said, I will watch the video. Well, my background in eBay is almost 20 years. I think I've been doing it longer than Roger. I'm older than Roger too, so that's probably why. So I've been selling on eBay, paid for school. I've made thousands of dollars in sales in eBay. So when I heard it was eBay, I knew I had to jump at it. And for $19.95 a month, I thought, hey, I could quit. It's $20. As people say, I don't go to Starbucks, but it's what, 2 Starbucks coffees? I don't know what the cost of those are. I could do this. And amazingly enough, this is the first time ever in my network marketing career, is I sent the video out. This was a Wednesday night. On Thursday to a guy I was doing other business with online. He signed up Friday, which was 2 days later, and he signed somebody up that same day. I had to sign up in 2 days. I'm kind of going a little different direction. I'm making a profit on eBay and Genesis, but I am training people. I don't know if you all know, I put on Facebook about 5-6 months ago, I've built an office where people can come and actually list at my office. I can go over their shoulder, and I can train them. And I've got mothers that are single, guys that just want to make some extra money, come into my office and just sitting there and for hours just listening or training. I've got a big 55-inch TV in my conference room. I do presentations. I'm doing one tomorrow for a lady that's going to sign up. It is amazing how people just gravitate to this business. I tell people, what do you do for a living? I do e-commerce. I leverage Amazon with eBay. You're the eBay guy? I've heard about you. You're the eBay guy? Oh my God, I got to talk to you. I've probably had a 99% presentation rate, meaning I've showed it to everybody I've talked to. Now, of course, not everybody signed up, but I've had people leave and come back. That's happened 3 times because what I do is, like Kenya does, she's great. Her and her husband are fantastic leaders, by the way, but they're always dripping information. I do the same thing, especially, sorry, Kenya, but I steal some of her information, which I'm sure is okay because it's part of the dream team.
Yeah.
I'm an Italian, too, so watch my hands. Don't move around like this. So I talk with my hands a lot. So I'm excited because I'm a year in, and I've had some people leave, but I still have a team I'm working with. And I've got young people, I've got older people. This ranges from 20, 18, all the way up to 80. I have a 75-year-old I'm working with that just loves it. And a real quick story, my dad's 89 years old. He's going to be 90 next year. He has signed up, he doesn't do the business, but he signed up 2 people for me at the gym. And what he tells them, they go, so what's your son do? Oh my God, he's the eBay guy. You got to go see him. He made $500 last month. You got to talk to him. And both times he did that, they signed up the next day. And he was against every business I've ever started. He's very old school Italian. You got to work hard. You got to be digging your ditches. He loves this business. I can have him come to my office and sit there and sell people for me. He's my best salesman in the world. Love him. So all I got to say, if you're on this as a prospect, take a real close look at this. The price point is amazing. the return, as you can see from these gorgeous, wonderful ladies and good-looking man, Charlie, that they're being successful. The success rate is over 80% of what I'm hearing. My previous businesses, and Renee can back me up on this, 5%, 3% of people make money, and it's just no fun doing this. This business is so much fun, and tonight is probably my epic fun I've ever had. I'm going to be dancing on the streets tonight doing this hangout. Thank you, Kenya, again, and I can't wait to talk to all you later.
Yeah, no, we appreciate you getting on, and we're going to have you on more often. You know, isn't that interesting that you have a room full of people that you can show, or you can do a presentation for, and more of them sign up than not, probably, than any of your other businesses?
Oh, it's much higher than any other business.
Yeah.
I don't want to be pushing the service. I mean, we call a leads group. Probably people know networking groups, and we had a party at our office, and there was about 60 people there. 35 of those people were sitting in my office, and it's about 800 square feet. They were surrounding me. Hey, the eBay guy. Hey, I got to talk to you, eBay guy. eBay, come here. And it was the coolest thing because everybody gets it. Everybody knows eBay, and everybody knows Amazon. You mention those two companies, and you're like, you're leveraging those companies, and then once you get into it, I have a guy that's made $1 million in his career. He's doing this as a hobby, and he's excited to do it. That it just blew me away. But I can see that it just, as Charlie said, it draws you in. There's a power to it that all you on this panel can see. That's just amazing.
Yeah, and the fact that you can recruit people in knowing they're going to make money instead of you just taking their $500 and knowing they're never going to see it again. There's satisfaction there for that. So, yeah, for sure. Thanks. I want to circle back around, and Kim lost electricity, so we lost her. But I want to circle back around, and I want everyone to give your number one tip, piece of advice on for somebody who is new, brand new, or somebody who is watching this hangout wondering if they should join. I want your best piece of advice from going forward today. I'm going to start with our newest member, really, Sarah, because she is brand new, and she can tell you in the 3-week period she's been in, what's your best piece of advice for a new person?
I would say follow everything that Roger says to the T, for sure. I don't think that he would suggest it if it's not a good idea. He knows what he's talking about, and that's the best way to be successful, is just follow what he tells you to do.
Awesome. Thank you. Now, Renee?
Unmute. There. Similar to what she said, is just to follow the training. You know, I made a decision when I was new that I have stuck with for the last year, and that was when I have cleared $100,000 to me, pure profit, then I can start having an opinion about this. Until then, I'm going to follow the leader. And it's not about hero worship. I don't do that. I don't understand people that do. It's not putting Roger on a pedestal. I know he puts his pants on just like I do. But he knows this. So for this, I am going to follow somebody that is willing to train to this incredible detail, and I'm going to do exactly what he says to do. And I think if everybody new started there would be fewer frustrated people. It's still a learning curve. It is. Even with the incredible instruction, it's a learning curve. But if you don't quit and you follow the instruction, I think you will be on the right path.
Awesome. Lindsay?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I like to tell people that for $20, you're going to spend that in a drive-through window. And you're going to spend hundreds of dollars to join anything else because they want you to buy a ton of their product. Take that $20 and eat a can of soup and invest in yourself. You're worth it.
Absolutely. Katrina?
My best advice would be to follow the training, of course, um, but also the more listings, as a general rule, the more listings you have up, the more money you are going to make. That is the best piece of advice to keep in mind. I didn't really start seeing results until I had over 100 listings. And then it was even better at 200. There's something about that 100th mark, I think, and stuff, something special, and it just seems to go up quite a bit more. Renee, when she was talking about titles, oh my God, pay attention to titles. Use the title builders. That is where you are going to make money. There's a reason that I overcut everything. I don't undercut, I overcut. And there's a reason, and it's because, I'm sorry to say it like this, but I am a title superstar, rock star, whatever, okay? I title and I overcut. So, and watch the training. Listen to people that are smarter than you. I'm off my soapbox now.
Thank you, Charlie.
Well, they've said it all. There's not much more than I could add, but like they said, you have to watch the training. And you've got to watch it more than once, because Roger says stuff that first time around you don't catch until you start trying to do listings and you make mistakes, and then when you watch the videos again, you'll catch it. And titles are very important. And the only way you're going to start making good titles is to get in there and create listings and create titles and keep working with it. And it takes work. It takes effort. But I think most importantly is that DSD is so different from everything else. You've got to change your mindset. There's an opportunity here. You can make whatever amount of money you want to make. You just got to put the effort into it, follow the direction, and work it. And believe that you can do it, because you're not stuck in some matrix or some downline, or you're not stuck under somebody, but you have an equal opportunity right up there with Roger, the top guy in this company, to make as much money as you want. And I think sometimes we have a tendency to think an amount of money you can make, but I think what this program has done for so many people is liberate them financially, allow mothers to be home with their children, and allow others to get out of positions that were just making their lives miserable. And that's why I see DSD as such a tremendous program. And for $20, are you crazy?
That's awesome. That's so true. Thank you, Charlie. And Steve?
Well, Kat's having way too much fun over there, so you can tell she's making money. She's having a blast, and I love it. Plus, I love
Cindy. Cindy didn't get the picture, so I tried doing so she could get a screenshot of it. So
tell her, you know what? Tell her I'll get one after. And what I want you guys to do, if the leadership wouldn't mind, when we end the broadcast, don't hang up. Stay on with me for a second. Okay. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in a little different direction because you guys are all correct. The thing that I found with this DSD is all of you. This leaderboard, the people that are on this hangout, I have never seen so much support in my life. So when you join this company, you're not on an island. How many of you, raise your hand, that's kind of like the Hitesh thing, I think, have you been in a network marketing company and you never got help? And that happened with me in a number of companies. Yeah, see, we've all had to learn on our own. It slows you down. You get frustrated. If you're not on Facebook, you better do that because the price is pretty cheap. I think it's still $0 to be on Facebook. The last time I heard. Jump on Facebook. The support there is incredible. Kenya, Alessandro, and Trent are off the charts. Now that I see these girls off the charts. And that's the thing to build the business. You know, if me and Kenya and Alessandro went and did a brick and mortar clothes shop, we'd have to learn, study, go to class. With this, the learning curve is so fast if you go out and find it. Charlie said that just a little bit earlier. We have so much support here. For $20 a month, you're going to get all these people making this money that want to help you. So don't be crazy. Be smart. Sign up today. And if you don't, I'll find you.
Yeah, thank you. Oh my goodness, so much wisdom. Yeah.
One more thing that you actually said this. One more, that the best piece of advice that I heard you, if you treat this like a hobby, it is going to be a hobby. You're going to make hobby money and stuff. If you treat it like a business, then that's when you're going to really get successful. This is my full-time job. You know, I work 10 hours a day putting up listings. You know, so, you know, I put in a lot of hours, I put in a lot of time and a lot of effort. That's when you're going to get results. So don't treat it like a hobby, people. Get to work. Uh-oh, I said the W word again.
Awesome. No, we have so much wisdom here that has been dropped on this Hangout. Thank you guys so much. Every single one of you are appreciated. I appreciate everything you do for your personal teams and for the Dream Team as a whole. And just, you know, to be an example, just as even a person who is, I don't even think Kat is an affiliate. Are you, Katrina? She's not an affiliate.
Sorry, I'm new. No, I'm not. My strong suit is not recruiting. You know, and stuff. I will be more than happy to help people out if they want. I just got a couple messages with people wanting, and I'll be more than happy to do that.
Yeah, and my point is, though, she's willing to take out time. There's no benefit to her here, really. I mean, there is, don't hear me wrong, but there's no monetary compensation she's getting for being here. And she's just here because she loves to inspire and she loves to help people. So that is what this business is about. That is what this team is about. And for the $20 in Pro that you put in, you get extra stuff through the Dream Team that we give you absolutely free. Extra training that Trent and I offer. We have a website for the team, and you know, there's no charge for our Dream Team members for that. There's a lot of affiliate training on there, but there's also some extra eBay stuff you'll get, and Genesis stuff as well. So thank you guys. I want you to go back to the person that invited you here and ask them for their link and get started, because time is money, and if you don't get started today, that's a day of money that you're losing. And the other thing is, I want to throw it out there to those of you on this Hangout that are already on the Dream Team. You know that we have an incredible training with Jim tomorrow night, and it's for Genesis members only. You still have some time to upgrade to Genesis so that you can be on that training. Now, know that if you do upgrade and you're on that training, please do what you have to do to watch the Genesis training so that you're a wet sponge. Because if that's the very first Genesis exposure you have, it's not going to benefit you. So I really want you to think about that. But don't miss the opportunity, because it is going to be some incredible information that you don't want to miss. So you guys have a great night, and we will see you on the next Hangout. And we hope to see those of you who are not with this team yet, we hope to see you soon in the Facebook group. Talk to you soon. Bye.